and safe passage, Chuck. They don't. So many of them are trafficked. Some are murdered. Some are treated or mistreated wherever they go. We don't know what happens to them. Shouldn't we have a system where we know better who's here and where they are and what has come to them?
Everybody seems to agree with something like that.
I don't know. We can't get much help from the other side.
But let me ask it this way. Can you treat this sort of as a temporary, emergency? So, for instance, the president is threatening to ship migrants.
Yes, the president used the word emergency.
All right, he went to but believe it or not, I grew up in Miami. I'm well aware of this. If he actually asked for help from cities and states, I bet you these cities would say, sure, if you need to temporarily relocate people here while they wait for their day with an asylum judge, okay. What's wrong with doing it that way? Why is it a browbeat?
It wasn't a browbeat. It was taken that way. It was presumption.
How did he present it?
Excuse me, if they want to help, they can. And some mayors have come forward and said we would like to help.
I would assume they would.
Isn't the point of a sanctuary city to offer sanctuary to illegal aliens?
So this is a real plan. He is going to ask for, are you asking for mayors to call up the White House today and say, yes,
sure, or
send
they're
us
welcome
your
to visit? I recently addressed to the Conference of Mayors, I know others from the administration have, this issue was raised in terms of how can we all work together on many crises of the day. Immigration is one of them. Opioids was another. Criminal justice reform is something else. We talked about workforce development. So certainly we want to work with the nation's mayors. But if you look at a city like Philadelphia, you have a mayor there who won't share information with ICE anymore, which means that we don't even know who's there, why they're there, how long they're there.
By the way, there's a circular illogic about this. If the president believes we're full, why does he want to help basically create a permanent way for these folks to stay in America?
Because the people are coming here anyway, as you know.
Okay.
What I'm saying is 103,000 came. These are unprecedented numbers. 3 short months ago, when the president addressed the nation in the only primetime oval of his presidency, you had a response from Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi where they said, it's a lie that it's a crisis. That's a manufactured word. Now people like you, like Jay Johnson, respected people, are admitting it is a crisis. We do have an emergency. So what are the solutions? I've laid out simple solutions Congress can work on. I think the person who's running for the nomination by a Democrat who comes up with an immigration plan rather than a government takeover of health care like Medicare for All or Green New Deal, that person is going to distinguish himself or herself because right now the two front runners for the Democrats, according to plan right on schedule, are the two old white male career politicians. Somebody who comes out with a plan on immigration, wants to work with the president ahead of time and not kick it into 2020 will prevail.
Was the president informed in advance of what was going to happen to Julian Assange?
Not to my knowledge. I certainly wasn't.
So he did not know in advance what was going to happen. The federal government, whatever deal was made with the UK and any of that stuff was from the State Department?
I'm sorry, I don't know because that's the State Department, the Department of Justice.
But you don't believe the president was briefed in advance?
I don't know, and I don't think so. And I just want to say one more thing. Having discussed this with him after the fact several times, the president believes that those who publish classified information should not do that. In other words, that goes for major publications.
So you think he should criminalize it? Well, he should criminalize it?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, remember, Julian Assange is not being indicted because he was a journalist. He's being indicted because he hacked. Same thing with private Manning. And so anybody who's publishing classified information, in our view, should think thrice before they do that because you can imperil folks. It's also why, I think it's part of why some of the redactions will come out in the Mueller report. You're protecting sources and methods. You're protecting grand jury information. You're protecting third parties who haven't been indicted and certainly won't be impeached. I know they want to embarrass and harass the president where they couldn't impeach and indict him, and we'll see what happens with that.
I'm going to have to leave it there, Tom.
Thank you for having me, Chuck.
It's nice to have you. Nice.
I'll see the Democrats in the White House later today. I look forward to it.
When we come back,
you're not suggesting, though, that spying occurred.
I don't. I guess you could. I think that some spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
So what exactly did the Attorney General, Bill Barr, mean when he said spying on the Trump campaign occurred? There's more to that story, and that's coming up next with the panel.